finally look at this 1971 AMC Javelin that we got out of a field. It's been in a couple videos, but we haven't really done anything with it. I did kind of throw some parts on it to haul it back from Phillipsburg, Montana to the shop here. Got this door all working. I know in the videos my dad managed to get it open one time and then I could never get it open again, but sorry about the lighting too, it's just way too hot to even have the shop lights on right now. So it's an early 71. I guess you could call it a 70, I don't know. But yeah, I got the door all open, so I'll get that. It's definitely not an AMX, even though it's got AMX door inserts and spoiler and stuff. I do believe it's a real SST. I'm guessing this car had some sort of rubber bumper on it. I don't know. I've owned a 73 before and I don't remember it having any kind of holes with any kind of trim on it. But that was a 73. I don't know about the 71 stuff. We do have all the vinyl top trim, even the weird little magnesium things that kind of go in here. So that's good, but I can assure you it will never get a vinyl top on it again. But I might put the trim back on and paint these parts black. I don't know. As far as this car really goes, it's really just going to be a drag car for Chelsea as a backup for the Gremlin. I mean, it's pretty bad on this side, and I haven't really dug much into it, but the Bondo goes all the way up, and then they got Bondo up here for some reason. I don't know, there could just be a dent or something there, but just got a lot of Bondo on it that's kind of looking a little unfriendly here. So more than likely what's going to happen to this car is we're going to rip all the Bondo off this car and grind it down to the metal the best we can. And then the AMX, actually we primered it with some high build 2K primer that you actually roll on with a roller, and that's some thick stuff. And then more than likely we're just going to leave the dents in it. I might try to pound that dent out a little bit, and we're probably just going to primer this whole car in that really thick primer and just leave it be, because there's no title for this car, and not that it's super impossible to get a title, but it's a lot of work. It took a lot of work to get paperwork for the junkyard javelin. So anyways, the point of this video and the next few videos is if you don't follow us already, the 304 is locked up, and locked up solid. I actually snapped the original harmonic balancer in half, my breaker bar, and broke the lower radiator hose off after I'd put automatic tranny fluid, diesel, all kinds of stuff down these cylinders and let them sit for about a full week. I managed to get it turned over about a ½ inch, but anyways, I put my bore scope down the cylinders. That rear number 7 cylinder is full of dirt. The other cylinders don't look too terrible. They actually look like a good bore in them, so I'm guessing that cylinder is pretty well stuck. And I want to say the number 1 cylinder on this side is looking kind of crunchy. So I have decided we'll just pull the heads off, see if we can't get this motor unstuck, and see if we can't make it run. Now, it's a 50-50 chance whether we can get the motor unstuck and make it run. And yes, I know it's going to be just a ruined engine anyways. Even if it does run, probably never get compression right out of that cylinder. But you know what, if we can make this 304 run again for a little while, that's a win in my book. And then we'll decide what we're going to do as far as engines and stuff. But so like I said, we're just going to kind of peel it apart, see if we can't get it unstuck, put it back together, and make it run. That's kind of where we're at on this. And the other reason I kind of want to make it run, I'd like it to be able to move under its own power, so I can move it in and out of the shop when I'm not doing anything with it. And, you know, work on the electrical, see what works and doesn't work. And I might actually pursue getting the AC parts for this car. It is an AC car, so it's missing the compressor. And I think it's got one line cut, but it's cut by a fitting, so I can get a new line made for it. So hopefully we can get all that done. But anyways, I'm going to get this hood ripped off of here and get a few things torn off this engine. And I'll bring you back and we'll just kind of do it in stages. Alright, got a few things off of here. The old 2-barrel carburetor was stuck on there like you wouldn't believe. And then I forgot to mention these though too, but can't tell you I've ever seen yellow Excel spark plugs. Everybody keeps telling me just clean them up and reuse them, so I guess if we can get this car running, that's what we'll use. The other thing I'm liking about this car is it's so original that even as far as I know, all these metal lines and stuff are the original equipment that actually bolt down around the valve covers, like the vacuum advance. But that kind of went like that, and actually has a clip on the valve cover and goes over to the distributor. But yeah, I mean, pretty original car, so that's kind of cool in its own way. And I really like that color, if that's the factory color. It's kind of like a gray color, silver color maybe. So I think the next order of business is I'm going to pull these valve covers off, get this crusty heater hose out of the way, get that coil off, and maybe loosen the exhaust bolts, manifold bolts. More than likely it'll break off, but that's okay, there's no exhaust pipes on this car anyways. And then after we do that, we'll probably start tearing the water pump and stuff off. I don't really have to, but it's kind of in the way, because I'm still going to have to crank on that harmonic balancer to get this broke free, I'm sure. And that harmonic balancer is off of the junkyard javelin original 304. So I guess that kind of saved us a little bit. But anyways, I'm going to keep tearing apart here and bring you back here in a few. Alright everybody, well, we got some stuff torn apart. That is a mixture of diesel and automatic transmission fluid, and I imagine water. It was kind of freaky when I pulled that off and seeing that. It's a lot more colorful than it was picking up on camera. These ones here aren't quite as mixed as bad. That cylinder right there has got rust in it. I know that it filled up with transmission fluid, so. And then that one right there's just got regular trans fluid in it too, so the really brightly mixed ones, I'm guessing, have water in them as well. But, you know, we don't know much about the car. We just know it was abandoned on property. These guys went and picked it up a long time ago. So, more than likely this car had an issue, I'm guessing, because, you know, somebody parked it. Well, I'm starting to find a few telltale signs of some problems here. So, if we look at these, yeah, now it looks like a bunch of crud. Well, that's actually mushroomed down. See, that one's a normal-ish looking one. That one there is kind of so-so. And that one there is mushroomed. And that one there is mushroomed. And these are those older style adjustable rocker arms, so maybe the rocker arms were out of adjustment, I don't know. But here's one of the rocker arms from the mushroomed one, and that's a pretty significant gouge in that. If we look at one that's running semi-normal, oh, not that one. Well, I guess that one there's flattened too. Didn't realize that. This one here, it's sort of normal. I mean, it's a lot better looking than those. So I didn't even notice that one. But I don't know if this was starting to starve for oil, or they were out of adjustment real bad and this thing was just clacking something fierce. But at any rate, I don't know how well those are going to work. I may have another set of heads floating around, but I don't know about that. I didn't notice any on the driver's side, just on the passenger side. And then this side here has some rust in it. We walk over to this side. This side here is actually pretty clean. In fact, that stuff that looks like rust there is just from taking the intake manifold off. But this side is pretty clean. So I'm guessing this motor had a lot of tapping and clacking noise, and then they quit driving it. The other nice thing is too, I've messed with some of the lifters, and the lifters aren't actually stuck in this engine. They actually all pretty much move. So that's a bonus. But I'm probably going to pull off these exhaust manifolds and this power steering pump and stuff. But I think that's going to kind of end it for this first video of tearing this apart. And the reasoning really being on that is because I'm going to go check, see what I can find for some heads. And like I said, I think I've got a set, but I don't know that for sure. And I mean, regardless, I'll pull the heads off, try to get the motor unstuck, but to start trying to put valves and stuff in this head and messing with all that stuff, that's just going to get a little too far, I think, for this motor, because even if we can get it running, it's probably not going to run very good or run right. So I don't really want to put any kind of actual money or parts into this if I don't have to. So, all right, well anyways, she's coming apart. We'll call this part 1, and I'll bring out part 2 probably in a few days once I get some stuff found. But the next time you see it, it'll probably have the heads pulled off and some other stuff, and we'll take a look at the cylinders and just see how bad this thing actually is. So until that video, thanks for watching, and we'll see you there.